All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and figure it out. I have Sickly Sweet here. Woo, pastels on my melanated skin. What's the ash level? But she's good. But we got some things to talk about. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So as you see, I have the new Blend Bunny Sickly Sweet palette here, and Maggie was kind enough to send this over from Blend Bunny. Now, I have gotten several Blend Bunny palettes before, and I bought several Blend Bunny palettes, and now I do actually have a code with Blend Bunny, which is Dr. Ash, and at the moment is not affiliate, but she's going to turn it into affiliate for me. So, thank you for sending this over. Now, looks like this little Halloween, different type of Halloween twist palette has the girls all in the stir. But let me go ahead and introduce myself. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you're older but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley. And eyeshadow is my jam. Now, I love me some Blend Bunny Cosmetics. The palette that really made me fall in love was the Surge palette right here. Now, I was trying to film this early. She sent this to me earlier before launch, and I'm like, what happens? Like, what is the problem? Like, something crazy always happens. Like, it seems like when a Blends palette is coming out, okay? So, the first palette she ever sent me was Dollhouse. Child, got COVID, okay? Like, sick for 3 weeks. Couldn't do anything. And let me see, what else happened? Oh, when she sent me this beautiful baby right here. I've never played with it on camera, but I have played with it in real life, just like this little roll right here. My grandmother passed. So I wore this little roll to the wake. So never got a chance to deal with that. And, you know, I was on my hiatus. This sucker comes around and I get a sinus infection. Now I dropped my phone. Hold, please. So in this video, I sound a little wheezy, a little congested. That's why, because I'm on the road to recovery and I'm feeling good enough and I was able to bang out some beautiful looks, but we do have a few things to talk about. So this palette retails for $42, and like I said, she did send this over, and it also came out with two lip oils. I love the lip oils. This is not new. She sent this out when I got the Juicy collection. I was okay when I got the Juicy stuff, so it's not all bad, but it's just like, what is the timing? I was just thinking about that. So it does come with a blue one and a black one. I have this one now, and I'll demo for that for you later. That retails for $12. Now the palette. It's like all in the war. I just literally went on Instagram and like literally she has a post like, why are y'all so up in arms about the layout? So if we know anything about Blend Bunny palettes, we know that they're usually arranged monochromatically, and they usually go from a color progression from light to dark, with the shimmers either being at the bottom or the top, or maybe sometimes in the middle. And it's like everybody is just mad that this palette is just in different arrangement. She's like, don't get used to it. And I agree with that. Like, I guess I do understand. You do get to see the color progression. You get to see all the tones. Like, we have the lure here. Oh, it was fine when she sent that. So that's good. But, you know, some crazy stuff going on in my life. What? You know, the pipe over here broke in this bathroom. So it's like, but you see here, we have like all the different tones right here. Oh, this shade is so pretty. But needless to say, she has a whole post on it. Let me know how you feel. I feel like some people are just like, you can see the color progression and it just lets you know what tones to add with what tones, and it's not really an issue, versus when the palette's all scrambled up. Me, it doesn't really make me any difference. I mean, I want her to keep it new. I want her to keep it fresh. I don't always want it to be just color progression, you know? Now, where do I fall in with the tricky spot with this palette? I'm a woman of color. And women of color and pastels. Tricky, okay? So I have made this palette work for me, but there are some rules involved, okay? And normally there are no rules in makeup, but there are some rules involved, okay? And we will cross that bridge when we get there. Now, sometimes when I looked at the palette, I said, whoo, it's pretty, but whoo, what's the ash level gonna be? Like, ooh, especially with some of these shades, you know what I mean? Now, I love the deeper tone shades. I'm like, yes, they're hitting, you know what I mean? And I knew the shimmers are going to be good, but I was like, ooh, what's going to be up with these, you know? And this is a primarily pastel palette, how she wanted it to be, versus the other palettes that I just kind of showed you where there are pastels in there. But those are, like, all the shades in this one are kind of the same tone. Where the shades in the other one, where it's a pastel, there are other darker shades that kind of make up for those pastels, and you're still able to use these pastels. These are like pastels, except for the darker pops that you see here, okay? So that can make it a little bit different, a little bit tricky. For reference, for my skin complexion, I have a very warm skin complexion, as you can see, a lot of yellow, a lot of red in my skin complexion. Currently at this moment, I'm like, this little lock. I'm like, come on, little baby lock, fall in line. I guess it doesn't look bad on the monitor, but I just see it sticking out here. So, for reference, I have on Rare Beauty foundation right now. I am 430W. If you're talking about Pat McGrath, I wear 22 medium deep. Let's see. Oh, the House Labs, I've been wearing 400 golden. So, as you can see, very warm skin complexion, not too deep, but very medium deep. But if you're deeper than me, and I know that you can say you do a white primer, I'm just not a fan of a white primer, and I'll talk about that later. So the palette does retail for $42, and she said she wanted to have a different twist on Halloween, and I think that that's so cool and innovative. And she said she had a lot of requests for a pastel palette, and I can believe that because people love blends. They love it for the artistry. They love it for the very avant-garde looks. I love it because, I mean, the mattes are just top tier. Like, a lot of times with indie brands, sometimes you don't know if you're going to get great mattes. Like, you're going to get great shimmers, but you don't know if you're going to get great mattes. Here is you're getting the best of both worlds. I use my Blend Buddy palettes all the time, just countless times. And I will definitely jump into this palette again. I'm still like formulating my thoughts on how I feel. But as far as the inspiration, she said the Sickly Sleep palette is a spin on a pastel heavy color story with a twist. 6 dusty, yeah, I would say that. Spooky depth shades, 4 gorgeous duochrome shimmers, 2 standard sparkly shimmers, and 18 beautiful pastel makeup. This so sweet is sickening color story. So I do like the theme and everything like that. So for the theme of this palette, we went with all cutesy vibes, ruffles, cupcakes, lollipops, and more, and added the dark side, tears, belly aches, grumpiness, and the blues. The possibilities are endless with this pastel drink. Now, I definitely feel like I got good possibilities. I wasn't lacking on which way I could go. But then, it's like I said, it was about color placement. And you'll see that carry out through the video. Things about the Blend Buddy brand. Okay, so we do have, like, I have so many Blend Buddy palettes sitting next to me. Okay, so here's the unicarton. Looks the same as the palette. Of course, if you turn on the back, you do have the layout of the palette. You have the Blend Buddy logo, 30 spoiled rotten shades. The palette is vegan. They're cruelty-free. It's good for 12 months once you open it, and it's recyclable. Blend Buddy palette is made in China. There are a couple warnings. This is warning for external use only. Discontinue if irritation occurs. There are a few shades that are actually face pigments, and then you also have the eyeshadow ingredients. So you could just take a look here on the back. They're printed here. And I feel like the packaging and thing, it's really pretty. It's really cute. It's like, it's Halloween, but it's not giving Halloween. You know, you're definitely going to be able to use this in the springtime, anytime, whenever you want to. So here she is once again. And like I said, I guess everybody's so up in arms about the layout. To me, it's like, I don't think I even care. But let's go ahead and let's get started with the looks. And of course, I'm going to talk about my thoughts in between, and we'll wrap up with some final thoughts at the end. All right, we are going to start this party. So eyebrows are filled in. I got my Goof Proof pencil, shade 3.75 for the brows. And then I did go in with my Pat McGrath Labs InstensiEYES Eyes primer, and it does dry down like absolutely clear. So I'm really curious to see how these shades are going to pop. Pastels. It's okay. It's going to be all right. It's blends. She ain't going to let me down. All right. All right, I'm back. I love it. It's not really giving pastel, but the pastel colors that I used worked, and I'm here for it because, and this shimmer, so beautiful. All the shadows are just so easy to work with. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Over here, I was a little nervous, was blending out that blue, but this is like a beautiful look. Like you could wear with this with some denim, a little black dress. It's gonna be versatile, you know. But I got my chestnut lip liner here, and I'm going to use the lip oil, and I have the blue color, and I have tested it out. It was blue, and it wasn't like shockingly blue, but this takes me back to my MAC cosmetic days when I was in high school, and they had like the blue lip gloss, and they had this black lip gloss with like these little gold reflex in it. What was that called? I don't even have any left, but chestnut lip liner. All right, and if you're wondering what I have on my lips before, it's really like some bag balm when I was getting dressed to start filming and getting out the shower. I'm just gonna kind of, you know, blend that lip liner in so we don't have like such a 90s lip. So she sent over the blue one. I'm gonna double back and get the black one. And I have two of the orange ones. Where are they? I don't even think they're here. They're in my purse. And I think one's in my pocket at work. Yeah, they're not here. But I have used them up so much. And so this is what we got. Love this doe foot applicator. So as you see, you get like a streak of blue, but it's really not as bad as you think it is. It's kind of giving, it's giving neutral. So you don't even have to be scared. Look at that. Cute. That's cute. All right, so I am loving, like I said, this is probably as neutral or as pastel as I could get, of course, but I feel like sometimes you gotta make the palettes work for you, make them for your aesthetic. I just love like the color progression and the purples I have over here. The blues are really working for me as well, really pretty. I wore a look kind of similar to my hooding ceremony when I was graduating from pharmacy school. So I had a couple of ceremonies. I got my the hooding ceremony with your doctorate hood, and I had a navy blue wrap dress, and I had something similar. It was probably not as dark, but I just love it. And then oh my gosh. So let's see. At first I was a little worried about this shade, but it built it up nice. I just feel that's feeling blue. I just went in a little bit harder with that. Most of the brushes that I use here were actually my Blends Bunny brushes. And let's see. Oh, this was Cry If I Want To. This is a stunning navy blue, but you know, I love a navy blue matte. If you've been here, Gloom and Doom, really nice because I was able to kind of get a little bit more depth out of the purple. So I paired it with Spooky. Spooky is really pretty by itself, but I just wanted a little bit more depth in that outer corner. Morose, gorgeous as well. And Frills and Thrills, beautiful as well. And that's what I have in the transition. And I paired it with I'm Fine right here in the inner corner. And the Blends Bunny mattes, they are just so good, so creamy. They work well. So, what do we use? We use Just an Act to blend this out. At first, it looked very powdery, but I just kind of had to go back, take my time, kind of blend, change up the brushes. You saw me go in with my Sonia G. That's because I just wanted a more blurred effect with these particular shades, but stunning. And the shimmers are really nice and creamy. They're just pop on the lids real quick, and I think it just really made the look come together. So for my face details, I did go in with my Rare Beauty foundation. This is the shade 430W. Kind of working on trying to end this up, like, you know, you can see like the little swirls, you know. We're getting towards the end. Used the matching concealer. She's definitely almost done. And for my face, I'm like surrounded by all these Blend Buddy palettes. I'm like, what is happening here? But I went in with the Forget Me Not palette, and I used that as the bronzer. I used a combination between this shade and this shade to bronze my forehead and my cheeks. And for my blush, I actually went in with my It's Belle palette. Just took the regular kind of pink shade Me Gustas here, and worked out well. And you saw what I did for the lips. I got on Ardell Naked Lashes, and I love it. I'm here for it. This is good. Okay, we'll be back with another look.
Maybe that's it. I treated you poorly, made you great coffee, hid you from the cops. I used to make you calm, kissing and massaging. It's days like these that make me wanna go and try things, busting up the seats. Now I just wanna go and rob things. Made a lot of greed. Now I just wanna go shopping. I used to treat you right. I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh, raindrops fall, sun goes by, whole new day, trying to get by, seeing you cry, just made my day now, trying new ways now, going all gray now, used to be around you, but it's a whole new place now, used to go alone, but it's a whole new train now, oh am I gone, and it's a whole new race, yeah, that I won't ever go lay down.
At this point, you see me going through the emotions. Like, usually when I do my third look with a blends palette, I usually just do an all matte look because I enjoy their matte so much, and then you can always see the contrast, you can always see the definition of colors. But I'm happy with how this looks now that I got it blended out and just kept blending and adding the more of the green on there. This particular green is stunning. This is called Brooding, or right here. But I was trying to get some like progression, and buttercream just came off like it was just white basically on my complexion. Didn't look good. Tried to go in with Fake It. I might try a little bit more now that it's down here, but trying to do a gradient in my crease, no, that did not work. So I'm wondering how maybe glow stick will work. On the lid, I wanted to kind of do a matte look. We do have this beautiful shade called Sprinkles down here, so it, let's get it focused. So it might just end up being that, but I don't know. Yeah, some of these other ones, it was just too light. But Fake It might do better just on my lid, but not in the crease. So I'm gonna try it. The crease is pretty light here. I'm gonna fix it up. Maybe I'll put glow stick there. I don't know. This is the problem sometimes with pastels on deeper skin complexions. And I'm not using a white primer. The white primer will look even crazier. I've been there, I've tried that. Ain't nobody got time.
Made you great coffee, hid you from the cops. I used to make you calm, kissing and massaging. It's days like these that make me wanna go and try things. Busting up the seat, now I just wanna go and rock things. Made a lot of greed, now I just wanna go shopping. I used to treat you right, I used to be your life, your life. Tell me what did you run from? Tell me why did you run from me now? Oh, raindrops fall, sun goes by, whole new day, trying to get by, seeing you cry, just made my day now, trying new ways now, going all gray now, used to be around you, but it's a whole new place now, used to go alone, but it's a whole new train now, oh am I gone, it's a whole new race, yeah.
All right, I'm back. I'm happy with my overall product, okay? I'm like, yes, it looks good. I'm looking in this other mirror. But I feel like I kind of gave you 3 of the same looks, just in different color variations, just to be honest. But all 3 of them, they look pretty. I can't deny. But like I said, whew, we have ran into some issues. And it's kind of be expected when you're dealing with pastels on a deeper skin complexion. So let's just talk about it real quick. I basically talked about it, but you know, when I went ahead and put on the mint greens, it just read totally ashy. It read chalky. You could see the consistency. I think because the shade is so light, it definitely blended out into just like white nothing. Then I went ahead and added on the other shade. It was just like the same thing. Now, when I packed it on the lid, it definitely packed a punch, did well, had to go back, add in more of the broadening shade, which is the deeper green, in order to get that contrast. And I just basically went with that. And then at that point, I was like, Lord, we're going to need something else. So I added on sprinkles, which is a beautiful, beautiful shade, I would add. And I did go ahead and put in on 2 eyeliners. I went ahead with this cream gel liner. This is really good. This is called Cat Soup by ColourPop. That's what you see, the turquoise there, because it's like a green turquoisey. So I do appreciate the uniqueness of that particular matte shade. And then I went in with my, this is my Glam Shop Poland pencil, but it's just a deep dark hunter green on the outer, you know, on the outer part, just to kind of base and ground the look so it wouldn't be so bright across the bottom of my eyelid. But I feel like it's half a dozen on one and half a dozen on other. Like, I like the palette, but then at the same time, I'm like, ew. I got some really great looks. I like the shimmers. I think like the deeper mattes are very unique. I think the purples are done very, very well. They can kind of carry the looks. These purples, they're just fabulous. The blue was okay, but I did not sweep it across the transition area. I only put it in the inner corner. Those shades are going to have to be concentrated. It's going to have to be built around something deeper in order for it to pop, so it doesn't look like ash on you, on your complexion. Now, I did not try any of these like peachy, orangey shades, and I will try. The pink, I did not try, but I think the pink will be okay just because it's just a deeper shade. But the things that are light, like the thing, like we have buttercream, no. Fake It, it's okay. I will wear this look out. You know, glow stick, I did not try that. Just the Act was cool because it was really nice to blend out that blue shade. It didn't give too powdery at first. It looked like it was, but it didn't. I did not try Melancholy. So that's the brown shade we have here. But I just know if I'm looking at probably like, just peachy, I'm like, ooh, that's going to be really light. Sugar High, I feel like the same thing. And then Center Attention might be okay. So, like, overall, I like the palette. Would I have bought the palette if I didn't get it? It's a very interesting question. I really don't know how to answer that because I really love Blend Buddy products. I really, really do. And that's how I have fostered the relationship with the brand. And I'm not afraid to say anything I have to say. But it's just like, I like the looks that I came up with. It doesn't read pastel. Like, I have very wearable looks for my skin complexion that look good. But at the same time, it's like, would I have bought this? And I just don't know. Like, the jury is out. I usually come back with like my updates on my palette rankings. And I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's just really hard to say. I honestly, if I just saw this and I know how blends is going to work, so it doesn't make me scared. But then at the same time, this was so pastel that I probably would have passed. I do really like the palette though. I really do, and I appreciate her sending it over. But yeah. So the reason why I also say that too. So I pulled out some of my other blends palettes, and I have the Sugar and Grunge here. She sent me Sugar and Grunge. And like I said, I never got a chance to play with it on camera. I wore it once, like I mentioned before, to my grandmother's wake. So here we have pastels here, right? But the difference here in this particular palette is, and I'm talking about more for women of color. So, it's half, take it with a grain of salt, okay? Really just talk about from a woman of color standpoint right now. These are pastel. But these are a little bit deeper. And then you have another color progression that's even deeper. And then you go even deeper. And then you have your shimmers. This is a truncated palette by Blends. So I've never really had an issue with her having pastels. But a fully pastel palette is like, eek! Because I know how to make these work for me. And these have always stood out good. And they've never been so light that it's just kind of been ash. You know what I mean? And I had something else to follow it up that was around the same shade that was just even deeper, which is not necessarily the case with Sickly Sweet. I still like the Sickly Sweet palette though, so I don't know how I feel. I do like it, guys, but I'm just in that rock between a hard place, okay? Now, have my Dollhouse palette. Love this palette, okay? I pull her out quite often. So if you look here, you have this row. It's pretty light, so it's only like a couple shades that I'm like, but you can tell, like, I use it, but I'm pretty light on my palettes. This shade tends to work for me. This shade definitely works for me. And now it might look a tiny bit dusty, but it always works with these deeper shades. And I usually pair this one and this one together a lot, or this one and this one. Same here with these color stories. But like I said, it just kind of goes a step down and you get that deeper range. So that's why it kind of works on my skin tone. Same thing with the palette that made me really fall in love with the brand. I have the original blends. I had that first, but when she came out with Surge, baby, it was up. It was up from there. So, okay, now we got pastels here. We got a white, but you see like the color, it just gets deeper. We got the neons. They were cool, like, because you get that pop. And if you want this palette, go ahead and get it, because she is going to have to discontinue it because the neons are being hard to source. I love this palette, and you get such unique. That's why I also love about like the blends. Like, you get so many unique different types of shades with these palettes. It's just like, oh my gosh. Now we have Laura here. Laura has pastels too. So, but like I said, they just go deeper. It's just like they transition all over. So in her arsenal, I definitely understand why she did this particular palette. I definitely understand that people were asking her for a whole pastel palette, because in her community, we're a part of the same community, but it's like, it's kind of like separated, right? So you have, us over here, we're doing more regular, more approachable looks. I want to say like nothing's wearable, but they're more artistry over it. On like Maggie does artistry, like the looks are avant-garde, they're blown out, and they're so beautiful. But I can see why they were asking for a pastel palette. And it makes sense. Like, you want a well-rounded portfolio of cosmetics with your company. So I feel like it's a good palette, but I feel like if you're a woman of color, you have to be aware. If you're deeper than me, this might not be it. If you're my skin complexion or a little bit lighter, This could work for you. I know we're like, oh, use a white primer. I'm not using a white primer because let me tell you, it's still going to look chalky with a white primer. It's just going to be on top of a white primer that's going to be not blended in well with your skin complexion. Let's just keep it honest. That's why I choose to use eye primers that are my skin complexion. Like I've always used like my Urban Decay Caffeine primer. Now I've been using this Pat McGrath InstensiEYES primer, which I feel was quite lovely with these shadows and make them pop. And this dries down clear. Yeah, every primer, like I've been using the MAC Paint Pot and Contemplative State. I use primers that are my complexion because I don't want to see my primer through my eyeshadow. And that's a concern I have, okay? So yes, this palette is very beautiful, but I do feel like placement is everything, especially on woman color. Placement is everything. You're going to have to pack it real tight if you want to see the actual pastel colors, but they will not be blown out. They will not be in the transition. You might be able to do a little like this, but that's it. So I don't know. And then of course the lip oil is fabulous. It's giving neutral. I love these things and it looks good with the chestnut lip liner. So overall, I'm happy. Thank you so much for sending this over. And just let me know your thoughts. I know it's like it's scary territory with these pastels. It's like, ooh, what's the ash? What's the ash level? It is what it is. I mean, there's no shade on the brand. I'm like, it's just, she does plenty of things for women of color. So I'm like, I'm okay. Everything can't be for me. And I feel like this is for me, but it's not for me at the same time. And it's not that it's not for me. It's just, like I said, it's more so about the placements of how you're going to place the shadows. You can't just go in with the regular approach like, yes, I'm going to light and dark. I'm going to light, medium, deep, darker, lid color. Like, no, you might just need to be like deep, a little blend out, pack a shimmer on the lid, keep it moving. So, depends on how you feel. All right. Well, let me know what your favorite look is. Oh my gosh, the purples. The purples, for me, it was the purples. This is very pretty too, though. But yeah, like I said, we struggled. This is really pretty. But that purples, I think that was the one for me. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know which look you enjoyed the most. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because you know I love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the Chair Dance. Chair Dance. Hey, 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 Chair Dance. Chair Dance. Hey, 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 Chair Dance. All right, y'all. Bye.